First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
An I-75 Relief Task Force met again today to discuss the future of the highway.
As Severe Weather Awareness Week continues, the topic of the day was finding your safe place.
And another bomb threat disrupted school in Alachua County this morning.
Today brought another school bomb hoax in Alachua County, but also an arrest in 3 earlier cases. Good evening, it's Friday, February 26th. I'm Marie Ettinger.
And I'm Danny Mathio. Thanks for joining us. Will Benner joins us now with the details on the latest disruption.
Yes, today's bomb threat was actually the second this week in the city of Alachua. Most of the recent bomb threats involved a phone call to a high school. Today's was a little different. Mebane Middle School was evacuated this morning because of a bomb threat written on a bathroom wall. There have been a half-dozen bomb threats at Alachua County schools this month, disrupting classes and bothering parents.
Are they safe? You know, that's the main thing. Are they safe? Can we get to them or something like that?
Sheriff's deputies helped Alachua police hustle students to a nearby community center.
And the first thing obviously we want to do is make sure the kids are safe and we get them off of the campus. At that point we lock down the campus and then we bring in bomb experts to come in and do a sweep of the campus and make sure that the campus is safe.
If you look behind me, you can see that Alachua County police officers and canine units are still patrolling the school. Parents lined up to pick up their children after being notified.
A lot of the kids are doing it for pranks and stuff, so you need to tighten up on them. If necessary, take the phones, because that's what it is. It's just pranks. They're having fun. They think it's a joke, and it's not.
Despite an arrest today and 3 bomb threats at Buchholz High, there are now more cases for local authorities to solve.
Do we have copycat, students that are, putting bomb threats on walls, or making phone calls? But we can't treat them as that. We get a threat, we have to take it seriously because the safety of the students is obviously the most important. So we have to take everything.
In the Buchholz trouble earlier this month, a 14-year-old freshman later emerged as the main suspect. That student has now charged with 3 misdemeanors and 3 felonies.
Thank you, Will. A construction worker was injured on the 8th floor of a building being constructed near Archer Road and Southwest 13th Street this afternoon. Officials have not released the worker's name just yet, but the Gainesville Fire Rescue Tech team did have to perform an elevated rescue to get the worker out of the building. He did make it safely down to the ground where paramedics were waiting for him. The extent of the injuries he suffered on the job has not yet been released either. Alachua County residents are still awaiting a decision on the Plum Creek development plan. County commissioners have yet to vote, but as Ashlyn Reese reports, they sure heard an earful today.
How much I love it.
The last speaker in the marathon public hearing on Plum Creek took to song to let commissioners know exactly how she felt. Over 3 different nights, more than 250 people spoke for or against the plan for major development in eastern Alachua County.
I think that opinions should be heard until there are no more opinions left. It's what makes the United States beautiful.
Everyone watched the commissioners for clues about how they're learning.
I think they have their positions, but I think they are listening to the people and they're very attentive when I watch them as everyone speaks.
Commissioner Lee Pinkeson has concerns about the scope of development, how portions will fare during times of flooding, and also has questions about the language in the development application.
From the application itself, it looks like there won't be a cost to the county, and I want to make sure that the language is strong enough that that is actually the case.
Other issues are east side jobs, urban sprawl, and the environmental impact. Ashlyn Reese, WUFT News.
County commissioners will meet March 1st at the Senior Center to discuss the application. The meeting will be live streamed and a TV recording will be shown later on Cox Cable Channel 12. Neighborhoods in Pensacola have a long recovery ahead after tornadoes caused major damage to more than 250 homes. Fortunately, no one was killed. Typically, you'll only get about 13 minutes to seek shelter when a tornado warning is issued, maybe even less time. What would you do at home or at work? Rachel White explains how practice can lead to safer decisions.
In Florida, tornadoes aren't just a summer thing. They can strike at almost any time of the year. So the Alachua County Emergency Management Team wants people to be prepared. Today, they held a social media campaign using the hashtag GatorNado. All day, people posted selfies of their tornado shelters to Facebook and Twitter. Norton Elementary School also practiced a tornado drill procedure to better prepare their students for disaster.
I think the biggest piece is preparation. So them knowing what to do, like we practiced this week, we've talked about it all week and practiced this week. I think that is what calms them down, is they know that we are prepared for that situation if and when it were to happen.
When Norton Elementary does get the warning that there's a tornado in the area, students will come out into these halls, crouch down facing the wall, and duck their heads. When a tornado is spotted, you may have anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes to find shelter. And you're more likely to see one this year.
Because of El Nino, we've had this subtropical jet over the Gulf Coast and into Florida. And because of that, we're seeing more tornadoes in the state. We're up to 14 already, which is more than double the average we would see by this time of year.
The Gatornado campaign is a part of Florida's statewide Severe Weather Awareness Week. Rachel White, WUFT News.
And as we said, this is Severe Weather Awareness Week in Florida.
Right, hence the Gatornado exercise today.
Exactly.
UF forecaster Amanda Hawley joins us now from the Weather Center, and she says preparing for the worst right now could pay off later in the spring. Amanda?
That's right. I wanted to expand on Dave Donnelly's point a little bit about those 14 tornadoes. I wanted to show you where those have touched down. Notice all of them have either been in central and south Florida or in the very western portions of the Panhandle. Notice no tornadoes have touched down yet in North Florida. But he talked about El Nino and the subtropical jet stream, and that really enhances our risk for severe weather. But in the winter time, the subtropical jet is actually further south in South Florida. So, but come springtime, the subtropical jet actually moves further towards the north. And that's when I really think that we could see our severe weather risk increase here in North Florida. And that includes the risk for these tornadoes to occur. So if you didn't get a chance to participate in that Gatornado drill today, I encourage you to at least think about where you would go in case a tornado warning was issued right now. But if we look at the local forecast, we do have a frost advisory in effect tonight as temperatures fall into the lower 30s. We could see a widespread frost here in North Florida. Low temperature will be around 33 degrees here in Gainesville, 32 in Stark and 32 in High Springs. So certainly cover the plants tonight as you head to bed. Back to you.
Thanks, Amanda. The I-75 Relief Task Force had its third meeting today in a series of meetings to discuss the future of I-75.
The goal is to try to improve traffic conditions from Tampa Bay all the way to Jacksonville. WUFT's Laura Peebler joins us now from the newsroom. Laura, what exactly did they discuss today?
Well, much of the discussion revolved around environmental concerns. Today, they focused more on areas that will be protected.
The counties that would be affected include Alachua, Marion, Levy, Hernando, Citrus, and Sumter County. Through various studies, the task force has mapped out what the state of Florida has defined as prime and unique areas of local importance. The maps were made with these 4 C's in mind: conservation, countryside, centers and communities, and corridors. But some members of the task force and others who attended the meeting are still concerned that adding more roads would cause too much damage, including in Micanopy.
Well, we don't want to disturb the charm of the town and historic nature. It is on the National Register of Historic Places, we want to keep that charm.
Even though the task force wants to protect the environment, its main concern is safety. Because of congestion on I-75, some members support adding new roads for traffic relief on the interstate.
20% of congestion on I-75 is recurring, meaning that it's traffic that happens on a normal day. And 80% of congestion is non-recurring, meaning that it's traffic that doesn't happen every day, like bad weather, construction, or a car accident.
Traffic builds as you drive south, and according to the Florida Department of Transportation, the highest amount of traffic occurs between Ocala and the Turnpike, and the task force is taking all of these concerns into consideration.
We're looking at things today that will be maybe developing within 10, 15 years, so it's not something that will be an immediate issue, but it's something that we're trying to get ahead of and prepare for.
Wood also said that there will be more evaluation before development begins. The next meeting will be held in April of this year. Reporting from the newsroom, Laura Peebler, WUFT News.
WUFT News First at 5 is just getting started. Coming up, while there are many shelters for women in Gainesville, one for men has finally opened up.
Plus, Netflix launched a new show today. Those stories and more coming up after the break.
And we had a pretty chilly day here in North Florida, only a high of only about 62 degrees. Clear skies, though, that'll continue into tonight as temperatures fall to near freezing. We do have a frost advisory in effect, but coming up, I'll tell you when we could see a warm-up.